character to move all the time. If you want it to move all the time, you go to control and then you'll find a block called forever.
Forever.
Ever then put this block move 10 steps in forever, then it will be moving 10 steps forever.
Yeah, it will be moving tense. You are right. Actually, you are right because you have already learned a few things about Scratch, so you know all these things. But there are students also who maybe don't know how to do it. So I'm explaining that to them as well, and obviously you can enhance your skills with that also. I'm going to explain today what does happen when you use any controls from this block, which is called motions. All these blue colored blocks are there in order to make your character move on the screen. So let's say that my character is facing like straight. It means that it has a 90 degrees direction. Now, if I want my character to move on the screen, how can I make it move? Let's say that I want to move it in 4 directions. First direction is up. Second direction is down.
Sir, I know this block.
Another character is right and another character is left. Now you have to look at this. Sorry, what are you saying?
I know to use this block.
That's good. That's good that you guys know how to use it, but there are others too that may not know how to use it. So I'm
Sir,
explaining
I know how to make games on Scratch already.
That's a very good thing, Bete. That's a very good thing. I know that most of you guys
I
know
made
that.
2 games on Scratch already.
बच्चे बहुत अच्छी बात है कि आपको ऑलरेडी आती है, but सबको नहीं आती है. That is why I'm explaining you a few things. So today we have to discuss on how our character can move on screen. So there are 4 directions that our character can move on, keeping your character moving straight in a line. So आपके पास 4 directions. You have 4 directions for your character to move. You have your character that can move on the right side. Now on the right side that you can see the value of x is changing from 0 to 240. It means that x is increasing. So if you will increase the x value of your character, it is going to move on the right side. And if you go from this point to this point, you see that value of x is decreasing. Previous it was 0 and now it has got minus 240, which means it has decreased a lot. So if you decrease your x value, decreasing means that putting a negative sign onto that, it will start moving backwards. And again, if you wanted to make it move, to take longer movements, you have to change this value to a bigger number, and the smaller number is going to take it back. Like say that abhi hum log yahan pe 0 ke paas hain, and if I press it 2 times, ye itni dur chala jata hai, and if I have to press this button, I would have to press this 5 times so that it comes back. So that is the impact of changing the value of x and y. Increasing x value would make your character move on the right side. Decreasing your x value would make your character move on the left side. Now the next movement is up and down. If you want to go up, you need to change y by a positive number, increase y. And if you want to come down, you need to change y by a negative number to come down. Let's say that you are here and you want your character to come down. So you can do this and your character can come down. And similarly, you can do this also so that character moves up. Okay, so let's say कि हम इसको थोड़ा सा नीचे ले आते. That's it. So now we can initiate all these movements with key presses also. Like if we press a button, our character should move. You know that we have 4 arrow keys on our keyboard, right? We have 4 arrow keys on our keyboard. So we have these 4 arrow keys on our keyboard. If we want a character to move with these arrow keys, what we can do? We can use 2 options for that. First is use this if block. Second is go to events and use this when key pressed. So you can identify the button that you want to pick up. so that your character can move in a certain direction like that. I have used up arrow with the button with the block which will make my character to move up. I have used down arrow with the block that will make my character move down. Changing y by a negative number makes your character move down. Changing y by a positive number makes your character move up. Similarly, I can use right arrow to change x by a positive number so that my character can move on right. And I can choose this left arrow so that my character moves on the left side when I want to move it. Now you can see that up, down, if I press these buttons here, it moves up, it moves down, it moves left with the left arrow, and it moves right with the right arrow. Fine. Now there is another method that if I do not want to use this one, if you can see that if I press this button, the movement is not very smooth. Okay, the movement is like stopping every time and it's not very smooth. If I want to make a smoother movement, what I can do is instead of using these blocks, I would be using this if then block. I will explain you how you can use that. Now you have to put your characters into these blocks. If a certain key is pressed, you change y by 10. Let's duplicate it once more, and once more. So now if you will press, if you want to move up, there is a code for that. If you want to move down, there is a code for that as well. If you want to move right, there is a code for that. And if you want to move to left, there is a code for that also. How would you move up? How would you move down? Obviously, we would want the up arrow and down arrow keys to move up and down. But with if block, we can't use this when key pressed. You can see that it does not fit in there. So what we can do is instead go to the sensing and use this key pressed and put it here in the diamond shape. If up arrow key is pressed, change y by 10. If down arrow key is pressed, change y by minus 10. If right arrow key is pressed, change x by 10. And if left arrow key is pressed, you can change x by minus 10. Now these codes can be put all together like that, and they will help you to make your character move if you put all of them in a forever block. So a forever block is going to keep checking every time if there is a button that is being pressed, and now you can see that the movement is like very smooth. Isn't it? So which one do you think is better to move your character on the screen, when space pressed or using this if block?
Using this if block.
Yes, using the F block makes it very smooth, makes it look very smooth. Now let's see that how much time we have. We have like quite time now. I would show you how can you create your own maze game on Scratch. Who knows how to prepare a maze game on Scratch? I'm a Shaheed.
Which game?
Yes.
Maze game. Maze.
Maze game बताई थी सर इसने class
Maze game on Scratch?
Yes. If you don't know that, let me show you how to do it. First, what we are going to do is go to Google Chrome and open search and write maze PNG. And there are going to be like a lot of these maze designs that you can pick and choose from. I'm going to pick up this one right here. So I will use this maze to play the maze game or to design the maze game. Or what I can do is I can draw a maze of my own if I want.
Me, हमने sketch
Please.
करना है. Me.
So we will save image as and write its name, maze, and save it somewhere that you can locate it very easily. I usually put my things in the download because it's easier to locate them there. Now what you need to do is, pick up the backdrop of the maze that you have just downloaded. Go to this backdrops option here. Delete these two backdrops because you do not need them, and add a new backdrop by uploading it here. Go to the position where you saved it and just double click on the backdrop that you want. Now you don't need this backdrop, you can delete it. And this one,
Can you go a little bit slow, please?
sorry, are you saying something?
Please just wait a little bit.
Sorry, I didn't get it. What were you saying?
Nothing, I'm not saying anything.
Okay, that's fine. If you're not saying anything. Okay, so let's say that we have this maze now. We have got this maze. Now what we want is our character to start at this position and reach at this position. And if we touch at any of these walls, we would want to go back to the first position. So I'm going to erase a few things here. I'm going to use this eraser tool, and I can't erase it, I guess. I will convert it back to a bitmap. Erase it. So once I have erased both of these buttons here, now I can try to fill them up with the background color like that. And then I can draw these two shapes here, marking the end and starting point. So this is the starting point of the maze. And let's say that this blue colored starting point, and then we can add this block here also. Change its color to a different color, let's say red. And this is going to be our ending point for the maze. Now what we need is a character that can run between these walls, run between these black walls. So what we are going to do is change our character and pick up a different character. Let's say that I pick up this.
Teacher,
Yes.
if you want the same cat to be in a way of running, you can just make your screen bigger. At the start, you'll find some options which cat you want.
Yes, I know that, but I'm not teaching you that right now. I'm teaching you something else. So let's say that we pick up this ball here, and this ball we have to move from this point without touching the red walls and reach till this point, so that we reach this red mark here. So you need to keep walking on this maze, and as soon as you touch this black wall, you're going to lose the game. So let's try to logically work on this game. So the first thing was that you needed a background and a character. We have got both of them. Our character is basically a little bigger than the maze separation. So we are going to make it a little smaller. Let's say 50 points. That's perfectly fine. Even we can make it to be 40. That still would work. So this is the maze size that we have now. And this is the ball size that we have now. Now we need our ball to be moving within these walls. So for that, we are going to use either if block, or we are going to use that other block that I mentioned. Do that simply the same way. Add a key, that is up arrow. If you want your character to move up arrow, you're going to go to the motions and set change Y by a positive value. Let's say we're going to make it 8 here. And if you want to duplicate it, just duplicate it, change the arrow, that is down arrow now, and change Y value to a negative value. Put up this change X value here, duplicate it again, change the value, change the key press to right arrow, and use change X by 8. Now repeat it again and put this change X by -8 here, and this should start happening once you have pressed the flag button. So let's say that I haven't pressed the flag button. You see that my character would not be moving on the screen anywhere. But as soon as I press the flag button, it would start moving in all the directions where I wanted it to move. So my character is not moving in the right side because I have to change this right arrow to left arrow here. Now it would start moving in any direction that I want. But what is happening is that nothing is happening if I touch or if I cross the red walls. Also, I need to tell where do I need to start every time I start the game. So maybe that is the point where I want to start. I will get its coordinates and go to motion and pick up this go to block and put it here. So now it doesn't matter wherever you are, whenever you will press the flag button, your character is come directly here. Okay, so that's one thing. Next thing is that how do we know that if we have touched a black wall and we need to start again? So for that, we are going to pick up this if block once again. See what happens. What happens is that you go to sensing and use this touching color. Select this color and change it to the color that you want to get operated for, that is black. So if you touch a black color, I would want us to start at this point. This point. So if we touch this color black, we are going to start at the top. Now let's see what happens. If I
Teacher,
press, if I touch the black wall anywhere, I would come back to the starting point, right?
I excuse me, I don't see what is written. Go to X dash Y dash. I'm not really sure what it's written.
This one. So this is
Yeah, now
basically
it's
the
clear.
coordinates of this point where I would want my game to be started every time. So I would always want to start at this point. That is why I have written this value here. This value is basically the position coordinates of this point where my ball currently is. Okay. So whenever I press a flag button, doesn't matter wherever we are, we will always come to this point. And whenever you touch a black wall, you are again going to come and start at this point. See, doesn't matter wherever you go. If you touch a black wall, you are going to come back on this point. Now, the next thing. Next is that how do we know that we have won the game? We would know that we have won the game if we touch this red color here. So I'm going to pick up this one, duplicate and add it here. Change the color to this red one. And now I need to tell what should happen if I have touched the red color. So for that, I'm going to go to backdrops, add a new backdrop here. Through paint and write we top this maze. We are going to say that maybe still 10 minutes ahead. So maybe that is what we are going to say. And the next thing that I would want is that once this happens, once we have touched the red block, I would want that we switch to this backdrop. This backdrop is going to be called backdrop 1. So let's say that if we touch the red point, we would want not to go to this value. Instead, start switch to. Where is switch to? In the costume, in the looks section, there's going to be switch backdrop 2. And we're going to say that switch to backdrop 1. So once you have touched this red block, what you are going to get is that you have, oh sorry, so let's say that if I wanted to show you that, I would have to remove this. Let me just show that to you first. Yes, we topped this maze. Now this is not the only thing that we would want to happen. We actually would want our ball to be disappearing from this position also. So for that there is this hide block here. So we will add this hide block after touching the red color. So once you touch the red color, what is going to happen is that you are going to hide your backdrop, and once you have clicked the flag button, you are going to show your character again on the screen, and you want to make sure that you go back to maze. So once you click the flag, this happens. And if you do not click the flag, and if you, let's say, win this game, this would happen. Now your character is gone. You get the message that we have we topped this maze, and that's it. That's about it. So once you click back again on this flag button, you are going to get everything back. So this is kind of the maze game that we can make using the movement controls. So if you know how to move your character on the screen, you can make a game like that. Okay. And similarly, you can add more levels to it. For that, I will share you. Sorry. Okay, I have recorded this lesson, so I will be sharing this recording with you as well. If there is anything that you guys want to ask now, you can ask that.
Sir?
No, sir.
Thank you, Ibrahim. Thank you so much.
Sir?
No, sir.
Sir, I'm saying,
Yes, I know. What do you want to say? Speak a little louder.
sir, I'm saying that my maze could not I could not get my maze on the scratch.
Okay, let me show you again how to do it.
Excuse me, sir. Can I leave?
Yes, yes, you can leave if you want. So let me tell you again how to get your maze here on the scratch. You need to go to the backdrops, this section, click here. You don't have to click actually, you just need to take your mouse there and then click on this one, upload backdrop. And then you can just get the picture where you downloaded it and paste it there. Okay, remember the name that you have used for the picture and remember where you have saved it, and you would be doing fine.
Let us check.
Okay, now is there
Save link as पे हमें click करना होगा ना sir?
जी upload a backdrop पे. Is there anything that you guys want to ask now?